This week in memes, Twitter users are divided over the etiquette one should take when sitting in the last row on an airplane. Twitter users are divided over a TikTok user who made a joke about the gender reveal of her supposed baby. And finally, Twitter users are divided over whether or not it's still okay to make fun of the color of our president. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Oh, hi. I just got off work at my job at the United States Postal Service, and I cannot wait to watch today's video from SumitoMedia. SumitoMedia is so funny, and he really makes everything in my life not so sad and pathetic. Yep.
Fun fact, the American slang term going postal, where you become violently angry and disgruntled to the point of harming somebody, usually in a workplace scenario, comes from postal workers because their job is so repetitive and mundane, it makes you want to kill someone. Is that really a fun fact?
Because this side has a door, and this side doesn't have a door. It didn't just get up and walk away.
Our first story comes from this viral video that's been going across Twitter. The gentleman in the clip is unable to recline his seat back because he's in the last row of the plane, and apparently we can get planes up in the air but can't make chairs go backwards for some reason. And the woman in front of him has reclined because her chair, of course, allows her to recline, leaving the man behind her without very much room to do anything. As a result, he decides to spend what I think is the entire duration of the flight punching the back of this woman's chair because she wouldn't unrecline it. And Twitter has been split about whether or not the woman is being annoying, the man is being a child, or if flying in general just completely sucks. Why were you so inconsiderate? Reclining airline seats is such a dud move. I admire his resilience. Why would you share this video when it puts you in such a bad light? It's ridiculous for people to say you shouldn't recline your seat. It's an option for a reason. You're fully within your rights. If he needs more room, he should have gotten a seat that accommodated that. Why should you be inconvenienced? You paid for your seat. Now, I think we can all agree that flying sucks regardless of how you look at it. It's the equivalent of deciding to take 60 random people from your local Walmart, sitting shoulder to shoulder with them, and then hanging out for 8 to 12 hours. It's a stupid experience altogether, and yet we have to endure it if we want to be able to fly out to stuff like VidCon or Seattle. I don't know. I understand the people who are saying that the woman is justified in being able to recline her seat. She did pay for her seat. The seats recline. You know, it's more comfortable. I do also understand the guy being upset. I mean, when the seats recline, if you don't recline, I mean, her head's basically on your neck. Like, what are you going to do in that situation? But I think we're all getting distracted from the real issues that come into play. Why is it impossible for me to get through a TSA screening without someone trying to look inside of my asshole? That's what I'm most upset about. Even if I had explosives, of all the places to keep them? Also, what is this shit with you pouring half of the soda can into a glass? Why do I need to ask for the other half of the soda can? Okay? It does. I paid like $200 for the seat. You can give me the entire soda. Who wants the other half of that soda? If I ask for a soda and I see you pouring it out of an already open can, I'm fighting somebody on this flight. While we're at it, what's the deal with airline food?
This is my impression of Dr. Doofenshmirtz offering Perry the Platypus rough gay sex. Perry the Platypus, I would like to offer you rough gay sex.
Up next, we've got maybe the millionth example of a joke going viral on TikTok and then being scrutinized by people much, much older than its targeted demographic on sites like Twitter and Facebook. This clip of a young girl going to a like baby check, what do you call it when you get a baby checked? Going to her doctor to find out the gender of her supposed baby. And then when the big reveal comes at the end of this 15-20 second gif, she reveals that it's a boy, it's a girl, nope, it's aborted. Ooh, even makes me tingle a little bit at how edgy that joke is. But this sort of humor is super commonplace on TikTok.
I'm home alone. You know what that means. Time to get sad.
Because the entire audience on TikTok skews younger and the algorithm makes it so that little jokes like this can go viral really, really, really quickly, it actually becomes super, super common to be scrolling through TikTok and seeing jokes about abortion, death, depression, family abuse, drug abuse, sexual abuse. It's all over. It's almost normalized on that platform.
Excuse me, miss. Excuse me?
Yeah?
Do you prefer to sit in the front seat or the back seat?
I actually prefer to get hit by the car.
I think this is prevalent for two reasons. One, because the audience skews younger. It's easier to be agreeable to edgier humor, you know, dark humor that you bump into online, the stuff you wouldn't be able to say in front of your parents or your grandparents or your teachers or your coaches. You can express yourself and like other videos made by people online because that's, you know, less policed in that sense. But also because I think it gives a way for people to be able to express and connect on these darker terms. I mean, drug abuse and abortion and sexual abuse and fighting and violence and family issues are real. As much as you might not want to make light of it, they are real things that happen to real people. And if you're expressing that in the way of comedy because it's something that happened to you, that's not, you know, a bad thing. That's a coping mechanism. And if other people can see it and laugh alongside with you, that can be a way for you guys to get through these terrible, terrible things together, which is why I almost never try to police what people can and cannot laugh about. I just assume that it must be coming from a place of healing in one way or another. That's how I want to look at stuff like this. However, this particular situation, I think the girl might be full of shit.
Oh, you do this when you think you're gonna have a child.
You have
think
abortion.
No, you take one when you think
Birth control.
No, when you think you're gonna have a child, you take one to see if
Plan B.
Not going to link to the TikTok abortion girl, but take heart that her baby is now in heaven, praying for her to repent so that he can one day see his mom again, and so should we. It's a touching sentiment. If it weren't for the fact that she didn't have an abortion, it was all a joke, and the reason that she was at the doctor's office is because she hadn't taken a shit in over a week. I was just really constipated, so the only thing to mourn is the shite that's been in my stomach since last Friday and wouldn't come out. Please stop yelling at me.
Just so you guys know, birds don't like wiggly fingers.
What the fuck is this? Are those fucking wiggle fingers? I must destroy fucking wiggles.
Up next, we find that presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg is reaching out to the most powerful force known to man in an effort to try and win him the presidential candidacy. And that force, of course, is memes. I think it was only going to be a matter of time after seeing, you know, like the Wendy's Twitter account and the IHOP Burger Twitter account garner so much free advertising for those companies by just memeing around on the internet and having something for the rest of the internet to poke fun at, retweet, share with their friends. It's a pretty good force for getting whatever message you might have out there, although the intention can be both positive and negative. Mike Bloomberg, presidential Democratic candidate, you know I don't follow politics at all, so I don't know what any of these words mean. Ran a campaign where we had multiple very high-profile meme accounts on Instagram post memes about him. Not even necessarily positive, which is where this becomes a bit of a gray area. Basically, every single one of these memes takes the form of Michael Bloomberg reaching out via DMs, asking for a meme in a sort of out-of-touch, hey man, can you make me cool with the TikTokers sort of attitude? And they posted it. And I mean, they got paid hard cash for these posts, even though some of these accounts don't necessarily represent Mike Bloomberg, don't necessarily support Michael Bloomberg, did these pseudo-ironic posts with money from Mike Bloomberg's campaign. So the question becomes a little bit complicated. What's okay here? I'm a little bit conflicted because obviously I want social media influence to be paid as highly as possible, right? If you're getting the sort of attention that fills the Verizon Center or the LA Convention Center, you should be paid like those celebrities who can garner that sort of attention. Coca-Cola pays millions of dollars a year in order to get their eyes in front of people for the Super Bowl commercial. If you can do 1 million views and make your video about Coke, why shouldn't you be paid that much? But I think it becomes gray area when we're talking political campaigns. They have basically unlimited money, and it's all because they want to be able to alter the policies that run the country. Maybe for better, but in situations like this where you're willing to pay to influence, probably for the worse. At the Fat Jewish noted that he got the offer to be able to do memes for Mike Bloomberg, but growing up in New York, Mike Bloomberg was the mayor of New York for like 5 years or 6 years or something. He said the dude was a shitbag. Had a bunch of anti-marijuana laws in place, stop and frisk available to everybody. He didn't want to support the guy, and a lot of the other people who took money didn't necessarily care whether or not they supported the guy. I don't want to go all Philip DeFranco on you guys, but I am genuinely curious as to what you guys think. As people who consume my content, clearly you understand and enjoy memes. But what would you think if, you know, I suddenly did a video about all the memes about Bernie Sanders? And I mean, there's a bunch. That might be a video I do someday. But then you find out Bernie Sanders paid me $20,000 to do that video. I didn't tell you to go vote for him. I didn't say he was a good guy. I didn't say he was a bad guy. I just made some memes, put together some memes. How would that make you feel?
Everybody stay being gangster till I pull up with the beans, bro. What you know about the beans? They thought I was capping, bro.
There was a thing where everybody was making their broom stand up because they thought that NASA made an announcement that because of the planetary alignment and the position of the moon, the gravity was perfect on Earth for this one day only, that you can make your broom stand up.
All right, y'all. So NASA said today is the day, the only day that your broom can stand up on its own. And watch this. Oh my God. Y'all, no strings, nothing. What?
Which is not true. I don't think NASA has the funding to even say something like that. Your broom can stand up any day of the year. The moon is not going to affect whether or not your broom stands up. And I can't believe I need to say this. You don't need NASA's permission to try and balance your broom. Okay, you have mine. Go for it. Try it right fucking now. Tag me on Twitter. I don't give a shit. Last but not least, we've got clever old Rebecca Black, who was... Stop. No. Don't even joke about playing that song, dude. I will choke someone to death if you play that. I'll choke me to death. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, Rebecca Black, you know her, the girl who sang Friday, that music video from God knows how long ago, made a very interesting post on the 9th anniversary of the music video Friday, talking about what she went through after it. I'm not going to bore you with the details because it's a pretty long script of stuff, though I will link the tweet down in the description. But it's an interesting take. Obviously, she dealt with an absurd amount of bullying after that music video came out. And now she has, from what I can tell, like a thriving music career. She's actually a pretty talented singer. She's looking more confident, feeling more confident. I just think it's a tiny bit inspirational, and I think that might be a good thing to sit on. If you're feeling down, I hope this video makes you feel better. Clearly, memes have the ability to put somebody into the White House. Why not use some of that power to make yourself feel better, huh? That's all the stories that I've got. Remember to subscribe so that you guys don't miss my videos every single week, even though the last one of these is a month ago. We don't need to talk about that. This is why I don't do outros. I talk for too long, and I sound fucking stupid. I'll catch you next week. Peace.